Hey guys, welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast. We're on episode 19. I am your host, Adrian, from the YouTube channel A League of Our Own.
And I'm your friendly neighborhood fire guy, Mr. Enfuego, also from YouTube.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We've got quite a few topics, baseball and baseball card stuff we want to go over. I just got back from a quick little trip from Cleveland, Ohio, so I got to check out the Cleveland Guardians Stadium from the outside. There it was pretty awesome. I just learned about Bear Night, believe it or not. Bear Night 1978. Did you know about this? It's like
I did not.
they had a beer night. Um at the time Cleveland Indians playing the Texas Rangers, and they were selling 10-cent beers. And um it went a little too well. To the point where I guess like fans like went out on the field, and they were like punching, like there was brawls with the players, and it was not a really good idea. And then like me and my husband were talking about it. We got into it, like maybe that's why, one of the reasons, not all the reasons, but one of the reasons why beer and alcohol is so expensive at baseball games is they really don't want you to buy that much, because
Yeah, but you always have that one that has
yeah,
deep pockets. There's always one.
yes. Yeah, so that there was like almost every restaurant and stuff me and my sister went to. They did a ton, you've got the Cleveland Indians, you've got the Guardians now. Which, that's another thing, that them naming them the Cleveland Guardians, going to Cleveland, it totally makes sense. Uh Now to me, the bridge, there's several bridges that go over the river that come from out at Lake Erie there. And one of the bridges there, it has those guardian, like, uh statues on each end, and it's literally right next to the ballpark, like right there.
Makes
Like
perfect sense.
it
Okay.
so it makes sense to me, because I know when we were all hearing this stuff about the Cleveland Guardians, when that name came out, we were just like, what? But if you're standing there at the stadium with that bridge right there, kind of makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
um that was a good time. That was awesome.
Well, glad you had fun.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to going back there during baseball season to see a game there. It was pretty. They had all the cool statues outside, and um they had like a bench, like there's a little park by there, and a bench that was like made up of stone letters, and it's like all wavy like an S, and it says who's on first
Right.
and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Um so yeah. Um so with me playing around in Cleveland this week, guys, Mr. Fuego pretty much did all the work on the podcast. He's so awesome. We've got lots of good baseball topics to talk about today. We'll go right off with the Yankees shortstop position. Um got quite the battle going now with
Forward battle. Yep.
yeah. Why don't you tell us about it, Mr. Fuego? What we got cooking with that?
So as of right now, okay, we've got four. I'm not gonna use the term stellar, because not all of them, they all bring different games to spring training. So we got Anthony Volpe, who initially came on board as a non-active. He came up on the non-active roster, just to work out, both him and Jason Dominguez.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Oswald Peraza and Oswaldo Cabrera with Isaiah Kiner Falefa. They all have been taking a stab at the shortstop position, because for everybody who follows the Yankees or even just baseball in general, right now we're hurting for a solid shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I see, I mean, neither one of these players have proven their case yet, because as of right now, management don't even know who they're going to have at that position come opening day.
Mm-hmm.
They did state that they would prefer to have what's his name, Cabrera, in a more of a utility role, like we'll plug him in as needed wherever we need him at. But my personal opinion, I think, and it kind of makes me cringe a little bit just saying it. I have a feeling Falefa's going to be the one that's going to be on the roster simply because he's got more playing time in that position.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and sadly, a lot of anything you do, whether it's sports and being in the military, time and service plays dividends.
100%. Yeah.
With IKF playing the whole season with the Yankees in 2022, and he has been at the shortstop position, they'll end up giving him the ball for that position. And I, if that's the case, I'd like to know what they're going to do with Anthony Volpe. Are they going to keep him on the roster for opening day, or are they going to send him back down and then bring him up after the All-Star game? So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah. There isn't really any other place they could stick him in for the time being, or could he be like I don't know what they've got in plans like.
Well, they're
wise,
considering Oswaldo Cabrera in the utility role.
Okay. Yeah.
Which that's a smart move because that kid, he could play all positions minus catcher and pitcher. So
I mean, yeah, both Cabrera and Peraza, like in the like towards the end of the season last year, proved they were ready for the bigs. So, hopefully hopefully it works out. I'm excited
we'll
to see
what
Volpe
happens.
come up. And the sooner Volpe comes up, I feel like the sooner Dominguez comes up, and
yes,
I'm excited to see him too. So,
and a lot of people are.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So and some other news, the Mariners decided to release Drew Ellis. Sounds like he just wasn't producing. He was picked up from the Diamondbacks and all, they had a couple waivers, trades, things of that nature. But his numbers just are not looking good. So they dropped him back down to minors.
Yep. They sent him back down to the AAA, and in just 70 games, he basically was under average. Only 70 games, 15 home runs. I mean, yeah, that's okay, but your average, if it's under 250, your slugging percentage is under 5, and your OPS is under 6. You got work to do.
Yeah. So, okay. So big to me, this is probably the biggest news in baseball right now. Everything with the World Classic to me is huge right now. Really have been enjoying the World Classic. Like I said in the last episode, way more than I anticipated. It's been so much fun, so exciting. Unfortunately, Edwin Diaz suffered an injury after his last game, which resulted in surgery, and he's going to miss roughly 6 to 8 months of the season, which is pretty devastating to that Mets organization. The injury happened after the game during a celebration. I don't know if you also have seen the videos or heard the news about it. It was a freak accident. It was, things happen. And all of a sudden now there's kind of like this small little uproar, in the social media world and news and stuff about, they should just cancel the World Baseball Classic, and these guys shouldn't be doing this kind of competitive stuff when they've got spring training and what they get paid for, baseball season and blah blah blah. And I'm curious, post in the comments what you guys think on that, because when I heard people saying that, I just laughed out loud. Like, he didn't get hurt during the game. It was after the game. I know it was still on the field, but it wasn't during play. If he wasn't at the World Baseball Classic, he would be at spring training right now. Maybe he wouldn't be playing as much or as hard. I know that they try to, use players strategically in spring training so they're ready to go for the regular season, but he would still be playing baseball. And you can walk down the street and you can trip on the sidewalk and have something like this happen. So I don't get this whole mentality of like, oh no, World Baseball Classic. What are you thinking? I mean, what do you what are
So
you thinking
just to
about?
give a little perspective and a little
Mhm.
more detail on this whole Edwin Diaz thing.
Mhm.
So he had surgery yesterday afternoon, okay?
Mhm.
And what they fixed was his patellar tendon in his right knee. Now the patellar tendon, it's as vital and critical as your ACL. You
Mhm.
know, you tear that patellar tendon, you're going to be out not as long as an ACL surgery, because I've had ACL surgery. I was out for 11 months. In Diaz's case, okay, they're expecting on average about 8 months of recovery time.
Mhm.
Now, if he has a stellar rehab program, he does all the right things, we could see him back as early as 6 months.
Mhm.
So now the uproar that I do foresee happening, and you touched up on it a lot, is
Mhm.
yes, now you're gonna have a lot of these fans who are gonna say, you know, this would have never happened if he was not playing for something that in what they perceive as it means nothing. Okay. It
Mhm.
may not mean nothing to you,
Yeah.
but you have an individual that is playing what he loves for a country that he comes from. Okay. That within itself is their World Series.
Mhm.
All right. And now, what I'm concerned with is, granted, this is the first that this has happened in this type of tournament venue or whatnot. 4 years from now, when WBC kicks off again, is management going to be a little hesitant on saying, okay, you could go ahead and go represent your country? And if that happens, there's probably going to be controversy between the players themselves and the team ownership. Now, is
Mhm.
this something that the Players Association is going to be like, oh, hell, we're going to have to get
Yeah.
our hands dirty with this one?
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's a touchy subject right now, and I get it. Edwin Diaz, he just got signed the largest contract extension for a relief pitcher. But y'all also got to keep in mind, okay, whether, and just like what you said before, whether it's at the WBC, it could have been at spring training, hell, it could have been at opening day. He could have got hurt in that area. We would still go without Diaz for 6 to 8 months, you know. But I'm
Mhm.
hoping the owners don't use this as a means to try to restrict their prized possessions, which is their big name players, going forward in future WBCs or hell, even All Star games.
Mhm.
You know, because the All Star games, they don't really help the teams win championships or whatever. It's just a
Yeah.
collaborative effort for everybody that has been selected to participate in those events to, you know, just have fun, give entertainment to the fans who's paying
Yeah.
crazy amount of money just to see home runs and just to see their favorite players, you know, teaming
Mhm.
up together for entertainment. That's just my
Mhm.
thought on it.
Yeah. I I mean, I've heard I saw a couple of interviews baseball players talking about, I think, Brand from the Mets, Brandon Nemo spoke up about it. Just and he said he's like he made it clear it should be a player's decision. For him personally, he was like, I don't all I want to do Mets, focus on Mets, no, and I get that. So that's should be the player's choice. I also watched the interview with Mookie Betts and Mike Trout, and they were talking about how much they're enjoying the World Baseball Classic, how meaningful it is for them, how and things of that nature. So I mean,
I mean, it's the
it'll be
Olympics of baseball.
exactly. And I know I've seen some people posting in the comments about, well, they should have had it before spring training and things of that nature. Um, it's not that easy. Just like the Olympics, trying to schedule like sporting events,
There's a lot that goes
professional.
into it.
Yeah, it's not just about America. It's not just about us. These other countries have their baseball schedules and sporting schedules as well. So it's really amazing that they even can pull this off at any rate with professional players, because it's the logistics of it are.
Because you got to keep in mind, once 2023 WBC is over, they're already working and planning on a location and scheduling for the next one.
Yeah. It's no easy task trying to put together an event like this. The World Baseball Classic, the Olympic. I can't even wrap my mind around it usually. So aside from that unfortunate news with the World Baseball Classic, it's getting down the wire. We're getting into the semifinal area here, and we've got some exciting games. So we had a little upset for your team, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It looks like Mexico came back and beat them 5-4, seven inning comeback win. You were saying that game, so Puerto Rico scored those runs early on. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Bob.
basically, Puerto Rico scored their only 4 runs in the first inning, and they held Team Mexico up until the 7th inning, where everything just completely collapsed. Mm-hmm. They started with a 3-run rally, and then they tagged on another run in the 8th, and then another run in the 9th, and we was just left like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So with that win, Mexico moves on, and they go face Team Japan, who is hot right now in the semifinals.
I think both of those teams are hot, and I think that's going to be an exciting game for damn sure.
Yeah.
Japan. I cannot get enough clips of Shohei Ohtani right now, man. That guy is.
I've actually seen Lars Nootbaar actually get some playtime in.
Yeah,
surprising.
Yeah, he's doing really well too. I know, that was funny. I know, I didn't even know Lars Nootbaar was on Team Japan until I was watching the highlights one day, and he was killing it.
Yeah.
Him and Shohei Ohtani. So that's that's kind of a fun rookie card that some of us I know collected in 2022, because we always liked the name. But hey, we might have ourselves a decent player behind old Nudie Bar there. So that's
definitely
exciting.
A sleeper.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Team USA is going head to head with an undefeated Team Venezuela right now.
Yes.
And I don't have visibility on the score right now, but right before the show aired, Team USA was up, I think 3-0.
Right now, I've got the game going. We've got some people in comments. We're at the bottom of the 3rd. It's 3-2.
Okay,
so Venezuela did get a couple runs.
They're gonna make this a game.
It's gonna be exciting.
This is how critical this game is. Team USA are the defending champions because they won the last tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they got a lot riding on this game right now. Mm-hmm. Team Venezuela, they've been undefeated in this whole series. They're 4-0. Mm-hmm. So the winner of this game, they move on to the semifinals and play Team Cuba.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
But, fortunately for myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of members of the chat and our listeners can agree, it's kind of an advantage that we could root on 2 different teams. So I've got Team Puerto Rico and I had Team USA. My initial team got sent home. Yeah, it stung a little bit, but I still got Team USA to represent, and I'm gonna be in their corner to the bitter end.
Yeah, that's. Welcome to my life. Being an A's fan, I always have the backup team, just in case my A's don't make it. But hey,
we'll see what you never know. They may have a breakout season.
You never know. Sometimes that money ball pays off, but So, in other fun World Classic news, if you guys, some of you may or may not know, but Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the batting coaches.
He's not one. He's the batting coach.
My apologies. The batting coach for Team USA. I have seen him in the I want to say sidelines, but it's not sidelines. I've seen him in the dugout. For all the games. You can't miss Ken Griffey Jr. That smile. His smile is just always so motivating. But he takes a little BP in the Team USA batting practice, and that Ken Griffey Jr. still has it.
He still
Um,
got it.
he's amazing. It's a fun clip, you guys. If you look it up, YouTube, something like that, you can check that out.
I mean, the swing still looks good, but it
Yeah.
would look a little bit better if he dropped a little bit of that luggage, maybe 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's mature. He's seasoned veteran.
Definitely, and I won't take that away, but
Yeah.
we perfected that swing with a slimmer kid.
Yeah. Well, maybe now that he's doing this whole batting coach thing, and maybe he's going to get back into it and just start showing people up
And
again.
it was a
You never
great
know.
idea to have Ken Griffey as the batting coach too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Team USA, how they're working the bats clearly shows that their manager knows, their batting coach knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. Okay, baseball news, guys. This has got to be
all you. This one's all you.
Yeah, this is the news story of the night that I'm most excited about, because it's just, to me, means that we're closer and closer to possibly having a women's MLB, women in baseball. Like, when I was a kid, I remember dressing up as a baseball player for Halloween, even dressing up on the days where it's like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I had the eye black on and all the A's stuff and everything. I was like, when I was like in elementary school, I wanted to be a baseball player. And I got transitioned into soccer. Parents kind of encouraged soccer as more of a girl sport, and I know they meant well for me, so I'm not upset with them in any way. Right. But obviously, you can see baseball is my love, and we just had some history happened yesterday. Olivia Pichardo.
Yep, Pichardo.
Pichardo is the first female to play in the NCAA Division I. So she got to pinch hit, I believe it was.
She was a pinch hitter in the ninth.
I'm going to try and show you guys a clip of this, if possible. This chick is amazing. And
now she's still a student at Brown University. Yeah. Just to give you a better idea of who this Olivia Pichardo is.
Okay. Let's see if I can show you guys a quick clip of this. Here we go. We will show this one here. There we go.
So, Olivia, thanks for joining us for the fall and officially for the spring.
Olivia Pichardo from New York has made history, becoming the first female athlete in NCAA Division I history named to a varsity baseball roster.
Started playing baseball when I was around 5 years old at Forest Hills Little League in Queens, New York. And there are 2 girls on my lob ball team. And then since then, I've never had another female teammate.
The 18-year-old utility player will be one of 31 on the Brown University baseball team when their season kicks off in February.
I don't think that we thought that it would go this far, but starting 8th grade or freshman year of high school, we thought, well, maybe I could actually play at the collegiate level. It was something that I just started thinking about, and it didn't seem like something tangible until I started to get further into the recruitment process.
She made the team after trying out as a walk-on.
It was evident from the beginning she had a plan, just from her stretching routine, her warm-ups. She's played with Team USA, so she's been at an elite level in the past, and that showed.
Olivia also made the USA Baseball Women's National Team and has interned in the New York Mets amateur scouting department.
Her biggest critic is in between her ears. I think that drive for her to excel, that drive for her to be successful is something that I think she's got in her core. And so that makes her better, that pushes those around her better.
For the 2023 season, Olivia and at least 8 other women in other divisions will play baseball at the collegiate level, and it's a club she's proud to be a part of.
I think that it's really cool to have that we're having more and more female baseball players at the collegiate level. No matter what division it is, it's just really good to see this progression. And I think that it's really paving the way for other girls in the next generation to, also have these goals that they want to achieve, and like dream big, and know that they can do it.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
So, as you can see there, guys, it's pretty cool. I'm
So
pretty
before you
excited.
say anything, watching that clip, what runs through your head now, Adrian?
I'm it makes me emotional, honestly. Like, I just I'm excited for all the opportunities that she's gonna have, that she's gonna bring to other females. And then the other side of me is like, I hope she's got a really good support system, because I know I've gone through my own things where you kind of step into a man's world, and it can be very difficult. But I, even when my days in the army and stuff like that, I had some men that I worked with that were super supportive, and they had my back for the times that I came across the other men that weren't so supportive. So I just hope for the best for her, and I can't wait for the possibility of the WMLB.
That would be awesome to see, because I mean, we see it with the WNBA. Okay, granted, it's not as huge as the NBA, and I'm sure nobody expected it to be as such. But just giving a platform to the females who love the game just as much as the men do, you know, speaks volumes. I would love to see a WMLB where, you know, you got females who, such as yourself, are big collectors, would love to get that hot rookie. Who knows? You
Dude.
might, if they did have a WMLB, I'm sure you would have your first Pichardo rookie card if it was to ever come out.
100%. I was actually already thinking like Tops should be on it next year. That she's got to be just like they did for the gal and the Giants and the Yankees. They should be card of this girl in archives and Allen and Ginter and stuff.
And I mean,
2023 for sure.
Granted, right now the women are slowly making their name in the sport of baseball. Okay, in 2022, we saw at the time Derek Jeter naming his first female GM for the Marlins. You know, then you got the Yankees naming their first female minor league coach. I'm just waiting to see a female behind home plate calling balls and strikes.
Yeah.
You know, we got the commentators, so we see the female slowly getting integrated into a man's world, as you would like to call it. But now let's take it another step further. Let's see how talented these females are in the field. Okay, because I'll go out on a whim and say I'm pretty sure Miss Olivia Pichardo will probably outperform a good number of the minor league prospects that are currently in the farm systems of these teams right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. She probably just that the drive alone from having to prove yourself is way stronger than the normal drive that people have just for the love of the game. So that's I cannot wait to see further news stories about Olivia, and we hope the best and good luck to Miss Olivia. And let's do it. Let's get it.
Doing big things, girl.
So we kind of slowly transitioned into our baseball card thing, because now I'm thinking, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get my first Olivia card. I know it's coming. I know they've got to be all over that. Baseball card news, guys. We've got a couple upcoming releases here. Bowman Heritage should be out next week, along with Topps Gold Label, which is going to be the last year of Gold Label. I always enjoyed Gold Label, but I get why, it's the resale isn't always great on it, and then it's one of those ones where you'll buy a hobby box and you get the gold frame auto, and it's usually most of the times not the greatest, but when you do get a good one, it's huge usually.
Yeah.
Ones with
But
the
like
little-
you said, though, the return on investment is not there.
Yeah, man, good looking cards. But we got 2022 Leaf Metal Baseball. I have still yet to buy any Leaf baseball products, but I have got like some singles that I've gotten through trades and friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a good looking card, man. I mean, I just, it's so interesting. It's going to be so interesting to see how this whole Fanatics thing plays out there and all that. So anyways, we got metal baseball coming out. We've got, I did not think they were doing this product this year, but Topps Stadium Club Chrome coming out. Supposed to be coming out on the 29th.
A lot of people are excited for it.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't buy a whole lot of Stadium Club this year. Stadium Club is in my top 5 sets that I love. I love the pictures. I love the cards. When a couple years ago, when Chrome came out, I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. So I had thought I had read that they weren't doing Chrome for Stadium Club, and now that they are, that's probably going to be a hobby box for me. We got Topps Transcendent collection on the to be announced here.
Yeah, if you got $20,000 to spend, keep saving your money because it's not coming out when it was supposed to be scheduled.
That's one that I look on the schedule for when like Phil's polls or somebody else is going to open it. So
I'll enjoy watching those guys rip it into it.
Yeah, and then looks like the end of the month. Topps Big League, is that 2023 that's coming out?
22.
It's gotta be. Is it 22?
I think.
Yeah. Oh gosh, because of this whole run into 2023, I'm getting them mixed up now.
Yeah.
I also saw on Instagram, I was telling you that they finally put an announcement date out for Topps Dynasty. That's another
high end
product. You buy a box, it's one card, it's one like with a really sick relic and auto, and they're all numbered. Usually, I don't know if it's gone up, but they're usually about $400 or $500 a box. Really, to me, one of the nicest looking products out there. I always kind of keep an eye on eBay just in case one comes. To me, for me, that's a product that you always buy after the fact. It's like buying a really expensive lottery ticket.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy watching other channels open it. Good times.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So those are coming out. Some other baseball card news. Grading. I got a couple of different things about grading I wanted to talk about today. So let's talk about SGC. I just got back my SGC order. They did run a special for Topps 2023 Series 1. Send in any of the regular cards 2021 or 2023 in. They grade them for $9 with a 5 to 10 day turnaround. So I sent some in because it was just because it was too cheap. They got me $9 for a card and that quick of a turnaround. I was like, let me see. So I got them back within that. I sent those in like just before I went to Cleveland, like maybe half a week before I came home, and they're here. 30 cards I got graded. I'm gonna be doing a video on that. I did open the box up and I ran a quick live stream last night and sold a couple of them live, but I am gonna do a standalone video on that SGC reveal. Everything, it was really awesome. I think 30 cards. The lowest grades I got 2 9s. Everything else is a 9.5 and higher. Not too bad looking. They also sent me a free pack of cards, little thank you note. 2023. It was a retail pack. Wasn't expecting it. Was
it a Series
awesome.
1?
For Series 1, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I was in a little thank you thing and all that. I had just watched Run Good Life did a whole like challenge thing where he opened up some hobby boxes and his challenge thing was to see if you can send them in and then sell the graded cards to pay for your boxes, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And he it looks like he came out a little bit ahead, broke even a little bit. So he opened his box like on screen. He didn't get a free pack. So I was like, oh shoot, I got an influencer pack.
There you go.
But so I just had this really nice, great experience with SGC. Now, on the other hand, our good friend Jason over at Extreme Card Breaks, I just was so bummed for him because he just had an awful experience with SGC. He had sent cards in. He got a confirmation that they were coming back to him, got a shipping thing and all that, and the cards never showed up. So, he contacted them and they responded and they opened a case, and then time went by. He's got a whole video on this, so check out Jason's SGC video on Extreme Card Breaks. And we're at about 2 months now, and he not getting any responses back, and he hasn't got his cards. So he had messaged the president himself, like through social media. He doesn't know if he's going to get it, but at this point in the game, because especially I think the biggest thing is that he kept having to reach out and nobody was reaching out back to him. I think that's the biggest.
Yeah,
I know that's the biggest thing for him, because he's a totally reasonable guy who all of us are like, hey, we understand there's so many submissions and things happen, but as long as you're just like, hey, we're still working on it, something. That's where they dropped the ball, and he's done with them. He said he's not sending anything to SGC, and it's not like he just sends in his own cards. He does a lot of submissions for other people too.
right.
And he's all the cards. So I know that's a lot of business. I'm just someone who does it every once in a while, but I know he was doing it quite often and for other people too. So that's
well, I mean, at least this wasn't a submission of vintage cards, because I'm pretty sure the temperament would not have been as mellow as you presented it. It would have probably been kicked up a notch.
This is true. I always think about that. Like, that's what I know some people aren't as big, but I'm always, when I send my cards to PSA or SGC, I just buy the extra insurance. I just feel like things happen in this world, and that at the very least, I can get some money back of what they could have potentially been worth, So that's just something I always like. Like, I know you get your first class or your priority, and you send it. It's got like the $50 of insurance on there. But if you really, when I sit down and I'm doing all these numbers for my cards and then cards that I'm sending back to people like you, my brother-in-law and stuff like that, if you think, when you really come down to it, like, hey, I know they're baseball cards, it's not the end of the world, but when you think about all the time and money and stuff that we're putting into it, man, it's sickening to think of, how bummed you'd be, like,
right,
if you didn't have, at least the insurance on there. So, speaking of which, another grading company, I don't know if I wasn't familiar with this grading company. I usually don't branch out to other grading companies. Like, going out to tag, if you guys recall, when we did a whole thing on tag grading, was a big step for me, and a pleasant one at that. I enjoyed the whole process with tag grading. But Elite Card Grading just announced that they are going out of business.
Chapter 11.
Yeah, and I went up to their website, and it just nothing on the website other than we are no longer taking submissions. And I'm like, wow.
Okay.
So I had watched actually Extreme Card Breaks was the first person I saw a video about that on, and then so I started looking at other videos and other social media things to see people's experiences. And so the general consensus, I think, is a lot of these people are getting at least emails, getting at least notified saying, hey, we're going out of business, and they're refunding them their money. But I haven't heard a whole lot about them getting their cards back yet. That they sent in.
Nothing of that nature has been mentioned.
Yeah,
But
so
I did see that video that you're talking about, and when Extreme Card Breaks did bring up the post where it initially came from, we did see some of the comments saying, if I don't receive what I sent in, the law enforcement is going to get involved. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out later on.
Me as well. Because I did see that in the comments. A lot of people are talking about like pressing charges and stuff like that for services not rendered.
That, and they're talking about bringing up felony charges based off the value of those cards too.
Yes, because there's like people. They were talking about there being 1-of-1s over there. Now I know not all 1-of-1s are equal, but
correct.
Still
a 1-of-1. You got to be either bold or stupid to send a 1-of-1 to a company that nobody has really heard of.
Yeah, unless it's like your family running it, and you're trying to.
but even then,
I know. Shoot,
if my Titi Maria was running a grading company, I'm not sending no 1-to-1s to her. No, I love you, Titi, but no, I'm gonna go with PSA.
Credentials. Let me see your credentials. So I don't know. I feel we're gonna keep up to date on that story. Maybe talk about that also next week's podcast to see if there's any more info on that. But I also thought maybe Elite Card Grading was one of these companies that like popped up. So I saw the website. I'm confused now. I read some things on it that they've been in business for 25 years. I've never heard of them. But then their website was like showed 2020 on the creation date. So I don't know if they just created a new website there or what happened there, but
they probably meant 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, could be. Or I'm thinking if they were like maybe just like a local card grading company to
probably.
like a certain town or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm just that's why I'm just still like such a snob when it comes to card grading companies. It's like PSA, SG.
Because I mean, look at Tag. Yeah, we did a little experiment with them. The experiment went well, and they're actually trying to get their name out there. Granted, they're keeping it on the west side, know, because they just went to the Burbank convention. They're doing a lot of these west side shows and everything, and they're doing live grading at a lot of these venues. So I mean, it's just a matter of time before they make their way on this side of the country.
100%. I also have received a couple emails from them about them dropping their prices as well.
And the prices weren't that bad either.
Prices weren't that bad, especially for what they did. If you guys haven't seen the episodes or on tag grading, I've got a couple standalones on my channel, and we talked about that early on in the podcast, maybe episode like 5 or 6, something like that. Definitely check it out. Tag grading, their presentation for everything, the way you
from
take
start
the
to finish,
out, open them up, and I mean, we do not get paid by tag grading. Tag grading has never given us a dime. Their slabs are gorgeous. I mean, just probably. You know what? They're my favorite. They're my favorite slab. I said it.
That's a bold statement.
It is. They are the nicest looking slab. They're crystal clear. They look good. I love the whole when you look up your card on their site, like the whole X-ray vision look,
third dimensional.
It was crazy. So might have to do another one with them. They I'll have to check. I have gotten a couple emails from them. Might check them out, do another small submission with them. HGA also has sent me a few. I had a couple. I personally have had some bad experiences with HGA, so I don't grade with them anymore. But I know that they're still trying. They're still out there trying to make a name for themselves and recover from some of the unfortunate circumstances that they had early on with. They do like custom labels. They had issues with copyrights on labels. They for me personally, they like put the wrong labels on things and things of that nature. So, but all these grading companies have their we've seen all the news, the issues all every card grading company's had. It's just,
I mean, I give credit to all these 3-letter grading companies that are trying to get themselves established in an already monster of a competition, because PSA is not going anywhere. SGC, they're not going nowhere, but they got some things to relook.
Yeah.
Beckett, they're not going anywhere. So, I mean, good luck to everybody trying to get their name and roll with the big boys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think probably every company, I think that most of them are getting it. I think their biggest thing is communication and like quality control. I think is their biggest thing. Like, I don't think for the most part, a lot of us are sensible people. Like, things happen as long as you let us know and what you're doing to make the situation right. That's all we really want.
Yeah.
I do want my cards back, but hey, life happens, things happen. So, what are you going to do? All right. So I think that is all that we have today for the topics.
Yep.
Mr. Fuego, what have you got going on your channel this weekend, next week? What's going on? What's coming up? What's cooking?
Well, right now, I really don't have anything much going on. I do have some product that I got coming in. Like, I'm gonna actually do a review on the 2023 Series 1 Super Box.
Oh.
I went ahead and pre-ordered one of those.
Cool.
It has one silver pack, so we'll see how that works out.
Ooh.
I'm expecting a PSA order to come in once we do the initial reveal. I'll do my own. I did get a couple of pieces of mail from some members of the community, so I'm gonna give them their due respect for even taking time to actually send something my way. And basically, aside from all that, I'm gonna kick it with you, and we're gonna start brainstorming ideas on trying to make the Baseball Junkies podcast bigger. Because I think it's time for us to get our feet wet and get our hands a little more dirty than what they are now.
Absolutely. That was something I was going to bring up here on my end. Was you guys may have noticed listening today or here watching, we didn't have a guest on today. We're going to kind of move away from doing a guest. We're not we're going to move away from having a guest every single weekend. We like to do that once in a while. We do love seeing collections and stuff like that, but we don't want it to take up a major portion of the podcast. We're just trying some different things. Mr. Fuego has been working tirelessly, creating this whole layout for how we want the podcast to go forward from here. And we always loved you guys' feedback and comments. Let us know in the comments here or in all the Discords that I have located in the description. We want to start really producing an even more professional podcast, and really go after that podcast production, making it really nice and crisp and professional. And Mr. Fuego, he also brought up some more news that the baseball card podcast list.
We
moved from.
If you guys remember, I made the announcement a couple of weeks back or something like that out of the top 15 sports card / sport podcast in America, we was ranked number 8. Well, I checked it again early this week, and we actually moved up 2 spaces. So now we're number 6.
6. Yay.
So what we're doing is obviously we wouldn't be where we at right now without our viewers and listeners out there, but we got to get the name out there. We want to get as many ears on the podcast as we do eyes. Yes. So, and that's where you guys play a pivotal role. We need your support to help grow this platform so that everybody collectively can enjoy what it is that we put out. Because ultimately, it's not really for us. Okay, it's really more for the collector / the fan of the sport. Okay, and
Absolutely.
there's times where we actually extend invitations out to our audiences as to what they would like to see or us to discuss on future episodes, and we have gotten feedback on it, and we would like to continue to do that. But everybody has a different way of thinking about what they would like to see or hear on a podcast, whether it's going to work during lunch or spending time on a live stream, as we are right now. There may be something specific that they would like to talk about that maybe the next person was thinking the same thing, just afraid to actually bring it up. So
yeah,
help us help you.
we got a great one in the comments right here from Jeremy to 2011 Cards fan. Season preview next week because it's the last show before the season starts. Season preview, I feel like we should do like our World Series, like who we think's gonna go, like all predictions, some predictions that we can talk about before the season starts.
We could do World Series predictions. We could do
Yeah.
award predictions.
Yeah, that'll be fun. With that being said, we know all of you here watching us live on YouTube. Thank you all so very much. Most of you have been here since day one with us. For those of you listening on the podcast format, we really appreciate you guys. We're trying to grow this podcast. We really want to get our baseball news and hobby stuff. We love baseball. There's a lot of us out here love baseball, but we're also, the hobby is a huge thing for us, and we're really trying to get that information out there to those that are new to the hobby or interested in the hobby, so they can enjoy it and maybe avoid some of the downsides of the hobby that unfortunately usually happen to the newcomers that don't know the ropes. So anyways, we love doing this. Mr. Fuego, you're the best, man. You guys be sure to check out Mr. Fuego on YouTube. Go check out his channel. All his links are in the description as well. Thank you for being here at the podcast, everyone, on my channel, Olivia Verone. I'll have a couple videos coming out next week as well. And that's all I've got for this week on the Baseball Junkies podcast. We will see you guys next weekend. Same bat time, same bat channel. You guys have a good night.